Hey guys, hope your day is going well. So today it's a beautiful day outside. It's gonna be like 60 degrees today. And because it's the end of March, almost April, this is the time that a lot of stuff starts to grow, starts to like pop out of the ground. And it's also a good time for cleanup. So what we're gonna be doing today is me and my dad actually, we're gonna just clean up a lot of perennials, like all like the dead stuff from the winter. We're gonna clean that up so that way the new growth can pop through. And then also in the back over here, so I was showing this in the last video, there's a big, like, not mess, but you know, there's a lot of stuff right there. There's some leaves over in that area, and then we've also got that wood pile. So we're just gonna kind of clean up this whole backyard and just kind of prepare it for the springtime, especially because very soon, probably in the next few weeks, we're gonna put in our raised beds for the garden. So we're just gonna clean up this area and get it prepared for that. I also just wanted to add one more note that because I'm going to be going to college in the fall, like at this time next year, I'll still be up in Vermont. So I'm just going to like guide my dad through all the different things that I've been working on that he hasn't necessarily done, and just kind of show him all the different steps so that way he can learn everything himself. So yeah, it's pretty simple stuff anyways. But yeah, let's get started. Right now what we're working on is there's a wood pile there, there's a bunch of stuff over there, if it'll focus, and then there's this wood pile over here. So this is a lot of the wood that we have left over from when we built the shed, but this whole back area over here, you could see that this is like our property line. We're gonna turn this actually into a mulch bed, and then we're gonna fill it all with plants, and then the garden will be over here. So what we're gonna do for now is just move all this wood over, and then we're gonna put it behind the shed because we're not gonna do anything behind the shed for now. So we'll just keep all this out of the way and clean it up. I don't think I mentioned this before, but we have this big pile of wood right here, and we're separating it into like 3 different piles. So in the wheelbarrow over there, we're gonna stack it behind the shed on one of those pallets. So that'll be wood that we can burn because it's not pressure treated. And here is just like kindling, just like little pieces just to get us started. It'll just stay in that barrel. And then all of this is like plywood, pressure treated, so stuff that we're not gonna get rid of, right?
Yes.
We are gonna get rid of it, but we can't burn it.
Can't burn it.
Okay. Okay, that was a lot of work. But we're gonna take a break now, and then we're gonna clean up all the leaves afterwards. So after we had lunch, I just didn't really feel like filming anything else. But we got a lot done, actually. The yard looks a lot better. There's still a lot that we have to do, but I'm just gonna go over like what we did and then what's next, I guess, for the next few weeks anyways. All right, so if you look at the yard as a whole, it's looking a lot better. We got rid of all those piles that were there. So I actually made a separate video on this, but I fertilized all these arborvitaes, and I established a leader. And then what we did over here was we had like that black bin is what we've been composting in. So we've like any like food scraps that we have or anything like that, we've been putting them in there. So we spread them out in the back over there. And then a lot of what those other piles were was just like emptying out pots that we had stuff planted in and just like a bunch of other things. So we spread it out throughout this whole area over here because, like I said before, this is all going to become the garden. So the next thing we're going to do with all this is we'll actually mark out exactly where we're going to have the garden beds, but what we'll eventually do is we'll actually rent a rototiller, probably from like Home Depot, and then we'll rototill this whole area so that way it starts to break down a little bit faster, and then we'll get the garden beds in at some point. And then over here where we have all of like the leaves and the pine needles and everything like that, we kind of spread it out throughout this whole area. I had to be careful though because I did find a couple mice over here, so hopefully they'll leave in the next couple weeks, but we'll make sure that there's no animals there or anything before we rototill. But yeah, so this will all become a flower bed. We're going to move all this kind of stuff too. And then we'll eventually get some loom and we'll fill in so that way it's all flat. But yeah, all the wood's gone. We stacked the rest of it over there, which is kind of hard to see. But we stacked the rest of it all over here, so that's nice and clean. We have in here, if I can open it, there we go. So all of that's kindling. So when we have fires, we can start with that, and then we can grab wood from over here. But that's nice and clean. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We've got that set up for fires and everything. We focused really on the backyard today, but just getting it cleaned up. So like I said, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get a rototiller. We're gonna rototill all of this over here. And then eventually what we'll do is in the next couple weeks, we'll order some loom. I don't even know how many yards of that we're gonna get, but we'll spread that in everywhere that we need to. And then we'll get the wood to make the garden beds. We'll make the garden beds over here. And then what I wanted to do was we're gonna do either 2 or 3, I think we're gonna do 3 raised beds. I think they'll be maybe like 3 feet by 8 feet, I wanna say is what we're gonna do. But another important thing as well is these arborvitaes will eventually grow out kind of far. We're still gonna trim them. They're not gonna be super tall, but we need some room for them to go out a little bit because these beds, like the border of the beds, will get it'll get pushed out a little bit wider. So I think we'll go probably 5 feet in, and then we'll start the garden beds. It'll take up kind of this area over here. And then around the beds, we'll put landscaping fabric to suppress any weeds. And then you can see my shadow over there too, that's funny. And then I think what we decided on is we're gonna do wood chips around it, so that way the plants, you know, if we have anything that's gonna like kind of sprawl over the side of the garden beds or anything, they'll have some room to do that, and there won't be grass right up to the edge of all the garden beds. So anyways, I'll be posting videos as we continue on with that, but today was just kind of like getting started for the season, getting ourselves prepared so that way we can move on to the next steps. I also have this pot over here that I just made. So I found some raspberry plants that we had for the last couple years, and I cut them down to like basically nothing, but I just wanted to keep them in this pot for now because we'll find like a permanent spot for them. But you can see all these little cuttings down here, but they're definitely still alive. And then I found a vinca vine that still had some life in it, so hopefully that'll come back this year. But I just have that as well. Well, besides that, I think that's all I really have for the video today. I hope it was not really confusing, and I hope it was somewhat enjoyable. I mean, it's kind of just doing like garden chores. You can see me a little bit better. It's kind of just doing garden chores, and it's not super interesting because it's a lot of like taking care of things before we get to do all the fun stuff. But there's a lot of fun things coming this season. Another thing I didn't talk about is you can see right here where we have this sliding glass door. Whoa. So what we did was there used to actually be just a window there, and that's why you see all of like the new shingles around there, because we have red cedar shingles, I think. So last spring we put in a sliding glass door, and at the end of this summer, beginning of fall, my dad wants to start putting in a deck. So that'll be really exciting as well. But we've got a lot of other stuff that's coming beforehand. But this is going to be a really fun year for doing a lot of outside stuff. So there's a lot coming. So yeah, stay tuned. If you aren't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe so you can see when I post some more videos on this. And there's also a lot of stuff happening at my mom's too. So I'll be posting videos on that. I've just been here for a little while, so that's why I've been focusing predominantly on stuff here. But yeah, I'll keep you guys in the loop. I'll keep recording whenever we do stuff, especially more exciting things for sure. But yeah, so anyways, like I said before, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions down below, and I will see you in the next video.